fan mods that swapped out zombies for Thomas the Tank Engine, unofficial remakes restoring cutscenes in painstaking detail. On Level Up Layers, we're peeling back the official horror to shine a light on the weird and wonderful community creations that morphed Resident Evil from mere survival game into an ever-mutating experiment in creativity. Stick around as we track down just how far fans will go to reimagine, and sometimes completely reinvent, the nightmare. Few communities have ever left such a lasting fingerprint on a major video game franchise as the sprawling, passionate, and ingenious fans of Resident Evil. Before mods and hacks became internet staples, Resident Evil's first wave of community creators operated in the shadows, reverse engineering PlayStation discs with little more than patience and primitive hex editors. These unsung pioneers cracked open the original code, not to cheat, but to build their own nightmares. Sometimes inspiration emerges from necessity. After the exclusive Japanese release of Resident Evil 1.5, an early prototype radically different from what became Resident Evil 2, fans worldwide orchestrated a years-long digital archaeological dig that ultimately resurrected the lost version, piecing it together byte by painstaking byte. What most don't know is that one of Resident Evil's earliest full-fledged fan translations, the notorious Biohazard Director's Cut Dual Shock version English patch, was crafted by a single anonymous programmer who reportedly lived in a remote Russian village without access to high-speed internet or even contemporaneous translation guides. The viral explosion of custom voice acting proved to be a pivotal moment. When modders spliced their own lines into iconic scenes, they didn't just lampoon cheesy writing, they experimented with tonal shifts and even horror satire, nurturing a robust subculture of community-led machinima that caught Capcom's attention. When texture modder Hellraiser 28 painstakingly recreated the entire Raccoon City Police Department interiors at 4 times the original resolution using AI, upscaling and hand-painted details, he unwittingly inspired Capcom's own approach to environmental design for Resident Evil 2 Remake. Curiously, the underground world of nightmare difficulty patches spawned an entirely new gameplay genre, the notorious Inferno mode hack for Resident Evil 3 turned the game into a merciless gauntlet, where even veteran speedrunners struggled, sparking heated online competitions and deep communal lore about unbeatable sequences. Beneath the surface of every masterful mod lies a story of creative sabotage, when enterprising Italian coder Dario mapped out how to repurpose enemy spawn points so players could face waves of lickers in locations originally meant for safe respite. He inadvertently transformed static survival horror into dynamic action horror, a philosophy echoed in later official series entries. A single meme can move mountains. Jill sandwich jokes ricocheted through modding communities until one team famously built an entire parody campaign featuring food-based zombies and condiments as weapon upgrades, a surrealist experiment that amassed millions of downloads and proved irreverence could transform legacy content. What few realize is that long before Resident Evil 7's VR immersion captured headlines, a secret cabal of coders collaborated on an unofficial Oculus DK. One port for Resident Evil 4, fusing motion control and atmospheric modding years ahead of Capcom's own virtual reality ambitions. In an astonishing act of cross-media synergy, concept artists inspired by community-created character redesigns were quietly hired as consultants for Resident Evil Village. Thus, fan redesigns became canon influences, blurring the line between consumer and creator. One enigmatic project known only as Project Umbrella Archives aims to recreate every pre-rendered background from Resident Evil 0 to code. Veronica using real-time photogrammetry techniques, this Herculean effort involves deploying drones across abandoned European buildings to capture authentic architectural decay. To some, sound design is secondary, but to Brazilian fans behind Sonoravel, recreating the ambient terror meant composing entirely new orchestral soundtracks. Synchronized with meticulously re-scripted enemy behaviors, their chilling tracks are now cult classics, often mistaken for official scores in YouTube playthroughs. Little-known fact, the infamous door skip glitch, used by thousands to break speedrunning records, was first uncovered not by data miners but by an amateur magician who recognized pattern similarities between game loads and sleight-of-hand techniques. This peculiar insight unlocked hidden mechanics even Capcom developers overlooked. If you loved leveling up your knowledge, hit like and subscribe for more awesome game facts from Level Up Layers.